Hello again everyone, this is Vincent and this is the first gaming video from the Stone Dragon since the announcement of our hiatus several months ago. Although we have uploaded a few other videos like Seb's dog mauling some chewy toy and a few other private videos which you won't see of us just messing around, but this is the first gaming video for a fairly long time. I don't know how many months. What's in this video right now, if you've been watching the channel for the last couple of months, you might recognize as Steambirds on Kongregate. I know it's not exactly the most entertaining game in the world to watch, but I had this video lurking around, waiting to be gotten rid of, or rather just put on YouTube, and Gab and Aaron didn't seem so inclined to make any videos in the near future, so you're just stuck with me. But I think I've made it slightly less boring because I've removed the parts of the game where I removed the times in the game where I'm moving the arrow around to plot the plane's trajectory for each turn. So I think I've made it look like the plane's in near continuous flight, except for the moments when the anti-aircraft guns are swinging around. Oh, and the game will get slower as the game did get slower as the game progresses, because as more power-ups and planes are on the screen, the game just slows down on this toaster of a computer. So what was the reason why we had this rather long period of inactivity was because firstly we were in our final year of school. We were doing our final exams for the International Baccalaureate. I think it's called college in America, where the last 2 years before university or college. I don't know, I'm just some ignorant Australian. We had our formal, or what in America I think it's called the prom, several nights ago, and Seb's gone overseas to Europe, I think. Not sure when he comes back. I think early January. He may or may not have some videos from there, and the rest of us, Gab, Aaron, and me, are just chilling here at home. And the reason I'm just referencing all of these American terms is because, according to the analytics, America is where most of our viewing demographic is from. But then again, that's probably where the greatest concentration of internet users is, so you're going to have to accommodate for them, and I'm sorry if I don't accommodate for your language or native idioms or expressions, but that's pretty much American and Australian is pretty much all I know. Pretty ignorant of me. So the plans for this period between end of high school and entering into university, or you can call it my transition from being a student to a forever alone. Probably first get fat, because, like, not intentionally, but just because we have no more compulsory sport like we did in school, so we're probably going to be lazing around, playing games, and eating a whole lot more than we used to. Probably put on 10 kilos. I think that's 22 pounds, plus minus. As of now, we've got some agreement where we're all writing blocks of 3 levels for each of our campaigns for Dungeons and Dragons, and we're each going to take turns to Dungeon Master for our level blocks. So Aaron's doing levels 1 to 3, I'm doing levels 7 to 9, something like that. I'm not sure if we'll get through all of ours. We've just got us 4, Seb, me, Aaron, and Gab, plus one of Gab's friends to fill in for the person who's Dungeon Master. We might also go on some paintballing, and we might also go paintballing, although I wouldn't say that much because it's expensive and it's far away and needs a lot of planning in advance. So, and you're probably not going to see any videos about that, so that might have just been waste of 20 seconds just explaining that. Also, I've got some new games which I may or may not make some videos on. They're pretty dated by today's standards, but I still think they're okay. So I've got Call of Duty 1, Company of Heroes, Ultima 9, Quake, and Settlers 4. Although I may not get those videos out soon because I'm also planning to upgrade my computer, which means better RAM, better graphics cards, so I don't run at 10 FPS. I'm not exaggerating there. I play League of Legends at 10 FPS or less. So, I'm upgrading because firstly XP is getting its support cut from Microsoft in 2014, so I might as well upgrade. And I really need that RAM, as you could probably tell from 10 FPS. I want at least 24. Or I may be able to run Ultima 9, Quake, Settlers 4. I haven't tried those yet, so I may make some videos. I'm not exactly the best FPS player either, so Quake might be a bit meh-ish. I'm probably going to be playing the chicken mode. That is easy. I'm just going to go OMG WTF if I played the hard mode, or that level higher than hard mode. I have to look it up, what it's called again. So what I could spend the next 16 minutes talking about is probably going to be boring, because normally I ask Aaron and Gab for ideas on what to talk about for a video commentary, but they didn't seem so inclined, so they just stuck with me. First I could talk about games I play, or a few at least, and my opinions of stuff that's happened recently. So, for example, play RuneScape, and I might comment on the new update, the evolution of combat. Well, my opinion, I don't really have one, because I don't have any response. Like when I see Jagex, how do you pronounce it? Jagex's justification for the evolution of combat, I just look at it, it's like got something to do with like making combat more balanced. Okay, that's pretty good. Making it more exciting and interactive, apart from just left click, go have a cup of water, and wait until the monster's dead, maybe eat something or two. I just look at it and say, yep, seems legit. I don't, even though I am a veteran of 7 years on my current account, I played since 05, I think, yeah. I'm a veteran of 7 years, and I think I had a few failed accounts before then, so 03 might be more like it. I think I played in Classic, or that was a shared account with my sister. She doesn't play anymore, by the way. Even though I am fairly old in RuneScape terms, I don't really have an opinion on these matters which shake up the game considerably. For example, because most of these updates I don't update features which I don't really feel attached to. Like for example, when wilderness PKing and the removal of free trade in 2007, which everyone was up in arms about, I didn't really feel anything about, because I didn't PK that much. I didn't PK at all, I'd say, and I didn't really trade with anyone. And I think Grand Exchange is pretty good overall, because now instead of having to run around looking for people to sell stuff, I can now just go on the Grand Exchange. But those other features which everyone was up in arms about, I didn't really care, because I didn't really use them. So similarly to the evolution of combat, I wasn't really attached to the old combat system, because I wasn't that much of a PKer, dual arena person, that sort of thing. So these changes for me are quite minimal. I mean, the other changes, like the UI changes for the Make X project, like the UI just annoys me a bit, because it's slightly different from the default. You kind of have to relearn how to use the UI. So for example, in the old system when you were smithing something and you left click something, it would by default make one of that object. Now it defaults to making the maximum number of that object. So say in Dungeoneering, I had like, I don't know, 12 fractite bars and I wanted to make a set of fractite gauntlets. Now, in the old system it would have made one, but in the new system by default, if you just left click the smith button, it makes 12. And I had a few times when I was smithing, I was like, oh my gosh, why are you making more than one fractite gauntlet? Cancel. And I just waste a few bars there. But I think I'll get used to it eventually. But I've got a few gripes with the evolution of combat. So for example, firstly, you can't see your max HP including armor. You have to do some mental arithmetic with your armor life point bonus and your natural HP, which is 40 times your constitution level. I mean, I could do that, but it would be so much easy. It would be so much nicer if you just saw your max HP, so you could see if you needed to heal using some low-level food. Also, some of the equips got nerfed, so things like Explorer Ring lost its magic attack bonus, Holy Symbol lost its general all-round defense bonus, even though they were quite small. They were, well, I could see the justification in that you don't want there to be too many generalist armors which are strong against everything. So time will tell. And also Dungeoneering, I think, has somehow gotten easier. Like in the old, like before the evolution of combat, I would sometimes use a whole inventory of dusk eels to heal, to survive a fight with a high level mysterious shade. Now there are no more of those high level mysterious shades. Like I can just sometimes I can literally go through the whole dungeon eating nothing but Heim crabs. Yes, I get the I Can Has Heim Crab title at the end. And also my last gripe with the evolution of combat is I think range is still quite weak in free to play, simply because of the fact that like in the pre-evolution of combat, the range of options given to free to play in terms of armor is quite limited, because the highest tier of armor now available to them is still hard leather. Like, we still can't make studded leather, even though we could make studs if they just decided to make it free to play. And also, we've got cockroach soldiers, but they don't give us carapace armor. Like, what is that? Even though we did get magic bows and rune arrows, but I'm not really the kind to buy expensive stuff that I could lose. I prefer to make everything myself. And that's pretty much my 2 cents about RuneScape and the evolution of combat. And I've got 9 minutes left or so. I might talk about League of Legends. There's not much to say here. Well, firstly, I'm not playing ranked at the moment. I still don't have 16 champions. I'm kind of building up my rune pages. And don't ask me for my summon name or username for any game, because I won't give it to you. Unless I somehow become some professional YouTuber, and then I kind of have that obligation anyway. About League of Legends, props to the player behavior and justice team for the new revamped tribunal system. I think that's a great thing. I heard some jokes on the forum about if League of Legends was run by Nexon, there'd be a whole lot of feces hit the fan moments when support tickets take over 4 months or something like that. Those were some pretty funny jokes. So I think Riot is doing it pretty well by industry standards for service to the community. On balance, just really excited for the new Season 3 items. But some of them seem a bit OP. It's like Ohm Reco disables towers for 2.5 seconds. Like, backdoor yeet Backdoor Yi takes no damage and runs off whenever you try and stop him. Or Leandri's Torment. Oh, I hit you. Now take a whole lot more damage. Like, it's basically brand passive on an item. Does it stack on brand, I wonder? I don't know. But props to Zilius, Morello, Zephyrus, all those guys doing the Season 3 changes. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about League of Legends other than the fact that I've already said that I play at 10 FPS, so I probably deserve to be sub 1200 ELO. Even if I did have a good computer, I'm pretty bad mechanically and strategically. So I could just talk to you about my real life for the next 7 minutes, even though probably none of you will be interested. So as I said before, we had our formal, or in America, the prom, for end of high school several nights ago. Yep, forever alone, didn't bring a partner. I think I was one of 10, 12 people who didn't bring a partner. And I saw one of my friends there, like, as in female friends, even though I don't know her that well, to be honest. One of my school friends took her to the formal. I mean, if I'd somehow considered, like, if I hypothetically considered to invite her to the formal, that would have been very awkward. Accidentally grass cutting your friend. By the way, is grass cut just Australian or is it American as well? I don't know. There's a website called Urban Dictionary, which I think it refers to American slang, but I wouldn't be sure. But and grass cut is on there. I checked, but Urban Dictionary isn't open source, or is it anyone can contribute kind of website? Because my friend, like one of my other school friends, he had a story where he just made up some random word. I think Latviate doesn't exist. He just made up a meaning for it as well. Not family friendly, I won't mention it. He put it onto Urban Dictionary. He submitted it for Urban Dictionary, and lo and behold, there it was on Urban Dictionary. Like a new word was just created out of nothing, pulled out of his rear end. So, I mean, Urban Dictionary is useful, but would you trust it? Well, it updates all the time, so that could be another advantage it has over those paperback versions, or hard copy versions of colloquial dictionaries. And as I said before, we just finished our exams for the International Baccalaureate. It's basically an final end of year's diploma. So if I were to give an equivalent, in America it would be the SATs. In Australia you'd have HSC in New South Wales, VC in Victoria. I'm not sure of the other states' systems. A-levels in Britain and other countries, Hong Kong I think. And I don't know all the end of school diplomas all around the world. So those are the main comparisons I can give to you, except the IB diploma is quite unique. Like, I think, for example, I'll just go through my subjects. I did standard level English, standard level psychology, higher level maths, physics and chemistry, and standard level French. So basically in IB you have 6 subject areas. You have Group 1, which is your literature study, which is English for America and English speaking countries, obviously. You have a second language. I did French, as I said. Group 3, I think, is maths or computer science. I forget what the group is called, but it's something along those lines. I better finish this quick because I've got 3 minutes. Group 4 is an experimental science. I did physics in that. Group 5 is a human science. I did psychology, although it could be argued that psychology is more of a science. And Group 6 is technically meant to be your arts option, but you can also put other stuff in there. I put chemistry in that, so I took kind of a more scientific baccalaureate, if you will. And and also, on that, apart from those 6 corners of the IB hexagon, there's a picture on the internet somewhere. In the center of it is a three-pronged, like, co-curricular. There's the theory of knowledge component, which is a subject which all IB students have to take. There is the extended essay, which is a 4,000 on TOK, or TOK as we like to call it. It's basically epistemology, how you know, why you know, what you know, what justification do you have for knowing. It's kind of like philosophy, but it's a subset, and it's not as cracked up as it is to be. I think with like most subjects, like everyone has these expectations based on pop culture on what subjects are going to be like, but they don't turn out to be like that. Psychology is similar. And also in the center of the hexagon there's the extended essay, or EE. 4,000 words on any subject that you like, as long as it conforms within one of the IB subjects. And there's a very wide variety of IB subjects. Like, they even have dance. How do you teach dance as an IB subject? I don't know, I haven't seen the syllabus or anything. But you can do an extended essay in any of them. Most people do it in history, I would think, or English. I did mine in physics. That might have been kind of suicidal, but that's just me being a sciencey person. And also in the middle there's CAS, or Creativity Action Service. It's basically the IB saying your life isn't just academics. You should also do all these other stuff which should enrich your life. Like service, which is community service. You should actually care about the rest of the community instead of just being a selfish prick that's just studying in your own home. There's also action, which is basically them saying, oh, you should do sports so you don't end up like some fat oaf in his room just studying, except that's what we're all probably going to be in university. And also there's creativity, which basically your life shouldn't just be thinking about study. You should also think about these other ways of thinking, like music or debating or other things like that. Creativity is quite large. It's similar to the Duke of Edinburgh award scheme, if you know of that. Except we don't have to go on a hike, obviously. Yeah, we're rather soft. So it looks like I'm going to be finishing up this video because I just died there. And I might talk about the IB later, and that's just kind of a rundown on what the IB is for those of you who might be doing college, and I will see you in the next video.